Another loaded show coming your way on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, and here's what we're getting into. Is Avonte Maddox returning to this Eagles defense soon? We have a new Cam Jurgens update and Matt Patricia speaking with the Philadelphia media for the first time. And of course, he was asked about what happened on Monday Night Football as Drew Lock and the Seattle Seahawks drove right down the field and Jackson Smith-Njigba absolutely burnt James Bradberry. Let's start off here with story number one with Avonte Maddox. His practice window officially opened up by the Philadelphia Eagles today. This is a really important roster move for this ball club moving forward with 3 weeks left in the regular season. Tim McManus tweeted this out and reported this last week. So we had a little bit of an indication that maybe Maddox was on the mend and he was going to be able to return to this team. He said this last week that the Eagles are opening up the practice window for Avonte Maddox next week, meaning this week, with the expectation that he is going to play again this season, a positive development in the light of the Darius Slay injury. And then the Eagles as an organization making this news official today. And the good news for the Eagles is that Maddox was a full participant at practice today. Does that mean that he's going to return to the New York Giants, or are they going to ease him into action? Either way, it looks as though Maddox is going to be able to rejoin this defense at some point very soon. And then Maddox himself tweeted this out. He's obviously very excited because when he suffered that injury all the way back in week 2 against the Minnesota Vikings, normally this is an injury that can cost you the rest of the year, but this is a credit to Maddox for how he's attacked rehab, how he takes care of his body, because this is a long-term injury, and for him to be back before the end of the regular season, it's something that this Eagles team was hopeful for, and now it looks as though it's going to come to fruition. Hasn't played since week 2 against Minnesota. And when we were doing that watch party, I remember he went down and we kind of looked at that injury and we didn't like what we saw at the time. He was practicing obviously in full, as I noted here on Thursday at the NovaCare complex. And this Eagles secondary, they've been bad altogether, red zone, third down in general, but they're also a little bit beat up. Darius Slay is out, underwent arthroscopic knee surgery last week. James Bradberry has become washed overnight. So this is a big boost to this Eagles secondary here to get back a player who is one of the top slot cornerbacks in the NFL, because Maddox is a player who can help you against the opposing pass game, but he's also really good against the run and a very willing tackler. One of the top slot corners in the NFL. And if you think about who the Eagles might play in the NFL playoffs, Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Both of those teams have really good wide receivers who operate out of the slot. CeeDee Lamb, and then San Francisco, they can put out a couple of different players, from Brandon Ayuk to Christian McCaffrey to Deebo Samuel, who absolutely burnt this team a couple of weeks ago in week 13. I know a lot of you aren't big fans of Avonte Maddox. One of our loyal viewers, Dennis Designs, does not like his game at all, and he has been injured a lot. There's no doubt about that. He can't escape the injury history, but when he is on the field, and when you think about how porous this Eagles secondary has been, this is a very important addition. And you look at what he did last year. Last year, yes, he was injured again, suffered a foot injury. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 71.3. That's very solid. What I like about Maddox is his versatility, though, and his usage, how you can use him. He can be a part of the blitz. Pass rush grade of 77.6, a coverage grade of 70.3. That came on 307 coverage snaps, had an interception, 16 stops according to PFF, 1 sack, and a passer rating allowed of 92.5. Still a lot to get to on today's show, but I do want to gauge where everybody's minds are at. What is your level of confidence that the Eagles can turn it around? Your level of confidence in the Birds right now. Scale it 1 to 10. 1, not confident at all. 10, fully on board that this team can get back to the Super Bowl. Coming up next is another reinforcement on the way. Also, Matt Patricia speaking with the Philadelphia media for the first time. First, let's tell you about Game Time. Eagles are set to host the New York Giants on Christmas afternoon at Lincoln Financial Field. If you're looking to go to that game and spend Christmas with a friend, a family member, a significant other, and you want to go to that game, there are still tickets available. And if you download the Game Time app for free and then you use the code EaglesChat, Game Time will know that Chat Sports sent you, but also you're able to save $20 off. With Game Time, the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed, and the prices drop as the event gets closer. I'm a big Venmo guy. If you have a lot of money stacked up in the Venmo account, you can also pair your Venmo with the Game Time app to make your purchases. There are these flash deals where you simply swipe to unlock, and you're able to get in on the action with some really good tickets at some very affordable prices. For instance, for this Giants-Eagles game, there are tickets available for $138. And as you can see with the view here, no obstructed view, corner of the end zone, really solid seats. If you want to go to the Giants-Eagles game in Week 18 on the road at MetLife, you already know the fraudulent Giants fans are going to be trying to get rid of those tickets. So you can go $20 off. Eagles Chat, Game Time app. Redeem that code. We'll put that link down below in the comments section as well as in the description of this video. Our channel has grown so much under my watch here, and it's pretty awesome to welcome on some brand new sponsors like Game Time. So support the show and show them some love. You get to go to a game and save some money, but it's not just Eagles games. You can go to concerts, comedy shows, theater events as well. More on the Eagles injury report. And I'm actually going to pull up a picture here because the Eagles did release their practice report as I was just getting started. I saw the notification come across. This is all important here, and it's notable going into this game against New York on Monday. Cam Jurgens was back at practice with that pec injury. That's what caused him to miss that Seattle game on Monday night. Zach Cunningham did not participate. Landon Dickerson did not participate. Nicholas Morrow did not either. Also of note, Devontae Smith not practicing and Darius Slay not practicing because of respective knee injuries. So we will continue to monitor those statuses. But with Jurgens here, this is really the name that I want to hone in on because Philadelphia is already going to be with that Landon Dickerson. We talked about the impact of being without him. He's undergoing thumb surgery and had that surgery yesterday. And the Eagles are already without one guard in Landon Dickerson. If you're without another guard in Cam Jurgens, that hurts you against a Giants defensive line that overall isn't good, but they do have some solid interior defensive line play. So getting back Jurgens obviously helps out this Eagles offensive line. You want to try to form some type of continuity in the last couple of games of the season. We round out today's show with this. Matt Patricia speaking with the media for the first time as the new de facto Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator. He was asked a lot of questions. One of them included, what is your relationship like with Darius Slay? When Matt Patricia was the head coach of the Detroit Lions, he was actually a part of the reason why the Lions decided to trade Big Play Slay away to Philadelphia. And Slay said publicly then, and he said it since, that he didn't like Patricia. They did not have a good relationship, but Patricia did say, we have a great relationship now. All it took for me was to confront him. I gave him a big hug, and we were able to work out our differences. With Patricia against Seattle on Monday night, I thought that he called a pretty good game. I thought the Eagles were much better on third downs, much better in the red zone. In the red zone, I really liked how they dialed up one of those blitzes that forced Drew Lock to get rid of the football, but then everything kind of went to shit as Seattle went down the field 92 yards, and Drew Lock targeted James Bradberry on every one of his receptions on that late go-ahead drive. Matt Patricia did take ownership of that go-ahead touchdown. He said that it was a bad play call. He wishes he could have it back, and he should not have put James Bradberry on an island. I wonder where Patricia has been, because all of us know, especially everybody who's watched every snap of this Eagles defense this year, with how slow Bradberry has been and how bad he's been, you never put that man on an island, especially against a player like Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's pretty quick, shifty, and fast. Patricia said, I would take that last play call back. It all starts with me. I've got to get some calls in there to help them out a little bit more. Hindsight, I didn't really like it. I wish I had another call in that situation. And then I also want to get to this. Nick Sirianni said yesterday in what was an odd press conference among many things where he said the plan on that last Jalen Hurts interception was to try to draw a PI. I didn't agree with that philosophy. I didn't think it made a lot of sense. You have all these dogs on the offensive side of the football, and you're trying to rely on the officials to help you tie the football game there. I think that maybe he was trying to cover up for somebody else, maybe cover up for his quarterback. But Sirianni also said that Matt Patricia will not be running his scheme. He will be running Sean Desai's scheme. And a lot of people took issue with that. Let me remind you that we're going into Week 16. The Eagles made this switch going into Week 15. It is way too late in the game to completely change your defensive scheme. If you're to do that, you do it in the offseason. And then you have training camp and you have the preseason to work on it. You don't overhaul and change your defensive scheme going into Week 16. It's way too late in the game for that. And it'd take way too long to try to master that and figure out the nuances of it, what works well, what doesn't, this late in the year. So it actually makes sense that Patricia will be running Sean Desai's scheme because that's what the Eagles have been running all year, but it's now up to Patricia to make the necessary changes and the necessary adjustments there. If you're still hanging out with us, I appreciate you. Real One roll call, type Real One down below. I hope all of you are getting set to have a fantastic weekend. If any of you are traveling for the holidays and going into Christmas, you're hopping on a flight, you're hitting the road, I hope you all travel safely. We'll still have videos coming out every single day because we're built different and we got to do it for the fans. So we'll catch you next time here on the show. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.